This is my 1985 B-Ridge Mk2 Fiesta 1.1L in beige, with contrasting brown and beige interior. Obviously, being a 85 model Mark II, it's a fairly early one. It's completely standard, hasn't been modified. Drives absolutely spot on. Brakes, clutch, engine, everything's all perfect. I've used it throughout the winter as my winter run around, and in the last 2.5–3 months I've done about 2,000 miles in it, all through the winter, and it's been perfect. Always starts first turn of the key, manual choke. It's had lots of new service parts, radiator, oil, filter, tyres, coolant, antifreeze, thermostat, fan switch, etc. So the bodywork hasn't been restored. As you can see, it's got a couple of rust spots. With this car, I do have new panels to go with it. The worst part of the car is the bonnet and the left rear wheel arch. So not included in the sale, but will be included at additional cost should you want it, is an absolutely mint, and I mean mint, bonnet for the car with no rust at all. There are two doors that are 100% mint and rust free. This passenger door doesn't have any rust. I got a spare one simply because before I bought the car, somebody had bent the door back to try and break into the car, which was done before my ownership. So I've got a completely mint spare door because I did plan to do it. And I say the rear wheel arch on this side is going to need replacing. I have got a panel, but it's gone rusty round the lip of the wheel arch, so that will need doing. I've got an absolutely mint, like brand new boot lid for the car, because this one has just started to go in the corner. But again, I say I've got a new boot lid, and I've got a driver's door which is absolutely perfect and mint, because this one's started to go along the bottom edge, more so on the inside. The car has been Z-barted since brand new. Under the bonnet, you'll be pleasantly surprised that it has been wax oiled since new, and it has done its job all on the wings. You can see where they normally go hasn't been welded. All around the backs of the headlights is good. You can see the wax oil here. I have cleaned quite a bit of it off because it was all over the inner wings when I got the car, but I cleaned it off because it looked a bit messy, but there's still some to be cleaned off. You can see it's had a replacement radiator. Again, on this side, the inner wing is absolutely rock solid. All down there, all around the seams, the backs of the headlamps is all solid. The only bits of welding that will need doing on this car under the bonnet area is just by the battery tray. There's a very small hole about the size of the end of my thumb. It's got the original wings, which are all still good. This one has a small tiny little bit here. This is paint flake, but I wouldn't replace this wing. The wing is too solid for that, because it's good everywhere else, all up along the tops. I don't see any point in replacing this wing. It just needs this little patch cutting out and a new piece putting in, grinding flat, a little skim of filler, primer and some paint, but the wing is too good to replace. It's got a little bit just creeping through on the seam on the front on both sides, but I say it's just a little bit, it's not much. The front panel is all very good. I've replaced the headlamps. You see it's all original down there. So bear in mind this is an early Mark shot. It's no good at all. The bonnet, it has well and truly had its days, but as I say, I have got an absolutely mint bonnet to go with the car at additional cost should you want. So mechanic wise, engine is absolutely sweet as a nut. It's got an original period 80s Pioneer radio which works. Engine's like a little sewing machine. There's no tappet noise, there's no rattles, there's no pinks. It runs as sweet as a nut, the engine. And so I've got a vibrating grille on the front, just there. So in general, it's a really good sound car. The interior is in really good condition for an early car. The only bugbear is it's got a crack on the top of the cowling where the speedo binnacle is, but I'm sure you'll be able to source one of those. I have been on the lookout. It's got the original parcel shelf that hasn't been cut for speakers, with both straps intact. The boot is solid. There's a little bit of surface bits here and there, but it is solid, and it's solid all the way across the seam where they go. So it's going to need a little bit of fettling, but as I say, it's on the road. It's MOT'd until August next year. It's got full service history with this car. I mean, loads and loads and loads of paperwork. The chap I got it off had the car for 10 years. It was his first car when he was 17. He's now obviously 27. So he'd had it a long time. Was reluctant to let it go, but has bought another Mk2 Fiesta. So I bought this off of him. I've used it through the winter, as I say, and I put it through its paces, and it's done 2,000 miles without any problems. Needed points and condenser doing, which I've done. The number plate is my private number plate, and it will not come with the car. It will be on its original plate, which is B605LLU, which can be seen on the glass. And if you can see that, B605LLU. So yeah, it's on the road, it's running. I'd trust this car to drive anywhere. I really would trust it to drive anywhere. It's been bulletproof mechanically, sound as well, as I say, and I have serviced it. As I say, there's a couple of cosmetic jobs that's going to want doing just to tidy it up, but by no means is it an absolute rotting basket case. There are plenty of cars out there that look nice, but have got bucket loads of filler in them. With this one, what you see is what you get. First of all, you know, it hasn't been restored, so all of its little bits of patina, it's honest, it's showing what needs doing, rather than buying something that's all hidden away for you to use it for a few months and then it all start coming through. So yeah, as I say, it has been Z-barted. Underneath it's got these little plugs that you can see here, here, here in the sill, that have all been put in the car when it was pretty much new, and it's all been wax injected. So it's pretty good being a early B-reg car as well. The sills on it are very, very good. It has had a repair on previous MOTs that I've looked upon on both rear inner sills, where they normally go just round the back here, but it's still rock solid, and it's been done to a good standard. and a good few years ago it's had two small plates welded on the floor pan either side, but very small plates, and the rest of it's all pretty sound and clean as regards to any major rust. It's a really sound car, just needs a little bit of TLC. Okay. As I say, I've got a fair few bits that I bought for this car. The reason why it's up for sale is because I had put my other Mk2 Fiesta up for sale, and I'm just getting time wasters and people wanted me to swap for cars, and I don't really want to swap. I've got too many cars, I just want to let one of them go. So as the other one is much cleaner than this one, and lower mileage, I thought perhaps maybe this might be in more reach of more people to buy, because it's obviously going to be cheaper. It's done 81,000 miles. There's not really much else I can say about the car, but as I say, if you have any questions, please do ask. As I say, it's got a folder full of paperwork, and I mean absolutely stacks of it, with all the handbooks, everything. And up until about 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, the car had only done about 45,000 miles. But they say the lad I got the car off had had it for 10 years, and he was using it for a good chunk of that time to go to college and back every single day, and work, which has put the mileage up a little bit on the car. But it is as sound as a pound mechanically. It's, say, on the button, heater works, digital clock works, so there we go. And it's got a very nice, charming sort of brown caramel interior. The seats are all in very good condition, rear seat belts. Okay, any questions, you've got my details on the listing. By all means, you can ask away. Okay, thank you.